Some of the messages coming in, Barry. Tired, lethargic, uneventful, lacking creation. That's Mike M. Here's Michelle T on saying, bring back Alan McGregor and we miss Morelos. What do you think, first of all, about the goalkeeper? John McLaughlin
Well, I think
at fault.
if you asked John McLaughlin, he would say he should have saved it. Look, I've always said that I think John McLaughlin's a very good goalkeeper. He has got to save that. And the flip side of that, he did make a couple of good saves after that. So he would be disappointed in letting that goal in. But look, you know my thoughts on Alan McGregor. I still think he's the best keeper in Scotland. But listen, Gio's made a decision.
Would Alan McGregor have saved that?
It's easy to say. Listen, it's took a slight deflection. I expect John McLaughlin to save that, and I think if you ask Big John himself, he would fully expect to save that. But as it stands, it looks to me if John McLaughlin is Rangers number one.
He won't change it? You don't think this weekend?
No, but I'm very doubtful he will change it. I do believe that Alan McGregor is still the best goalkeeper at Rangers, but I think Gio's made his mind up.
It's so important, that position. And up front at the other end of the park, what about Morelos? Do you think he'll be back for Tuesday?
Well, he's been training with the team. Look, I know Peter's thoughts on Morelos. Look, I've maintained throughout his Rangers career, I do really like him when he's on it. He's a real handful. Is he going to be match fit? No, he ain't. But for me, I think he's so important to Rangers. I think you've got to gamble and throw him in. Peter,
they missed him badly last night. Cholak is just different. You can see.
Yeah, it's tough. Listen, it's tough. A new player coming to a club. I just believe Morelos in the Rangers starting 11. Rangers are a better team.
Peter,
his big performances were in Europe last year. There's no doubt of that. As I say, my biggest thing with him is he never seems to be fit. And it's such an important game for Rangers. Next week. I mean, that's my question mark over Davis not playing at the back, giving him a natural balance as a left-sider. If he's fit enough to be on the bench, not just in one game, I know sometimes that can happen, you can bring them back, but if he's not fit enough and he's a natural defender and you're paid £4 million for him, Gio can come on and say, oh, he's been injured, he's missed a lot of training. Fine, that's absolutely fine, because I'm not aware of that, but I would definitely be playing him, because then I think if you're strong at the back, you've got that quality, you've got a natural left-sider talking to Barry about the game. Sands kept coming in his right foot, which you normally do. Celtic had the same problem at the start of last season with Starfelt. You naturally come into your right hand side, and Celtic were playing obviously with the back four, but when you're playing that back three, 9 times out of 10 you want that left sider to get out as wide as he can to start attacks. And maybe the game getting slowed down, listening to Barry talking about the game getting slowed down, the ball being slow, the passing being slow. When teams are sitting deep against you, the one thing you have to do is move the ball quickly.
100%. I said that. I was obviously speaking to Peter before we come on air, and that's the thing that was frustrating me last night. They obviously sat behind the ball to try and frustrate Rangers. You could see that early doors. You watched the game as well, Paul. But as Peter just says there, when teams do that, you've got to move them side to side quickly. You've got to have a bit of pace on the ball, 1 and 2 touch. And I just thought Rangers' play last night was really lethargic.
How can the team go from playing so brilliantly in Europe last season? I know it didn't go well at the beginning against Malmo, but that run all the way to the final. And I know there were a number of new players last night at the start, but most of the team are still there on the bench, or sure they're missing Bassey.
There's quite a few players that were involved in Europa League run last year. I don't think Gio would use that as an excuse. There's plenty of experience in there, European experience. Listen, it was just a bad night at the office. Rangers were really below par. And you could see it in Gio's interview after the game.
Look shocked.
I think he was shell shocked with the performance. But listen, the beauty of being a football player, there's a game just round the corner, and I think a lot of positions are up for grabs come the game on Saturday, even against Kilmarnock.